Asmat Gurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Paramagurubhyo Namaha, Asmat Sarva Gurubhyo Namaha. So today we're going to start our third lesson in Vedic chanting, and I'm just going to share the screen with the text. Here we have another Shantipat. In the first lesson, we learned the Shantipat, Shanno Mitra Shambarunaha. In this one, we're going to learn the prayer for cooperation in learning between the student and the teacher. So we don't really have a teacher here because nobody really knows the Veda, but we have different students. Myself, I'm a student. You're also students. So we need a prayer for cooperation between us. This is the prayer that normally they start any lesson in Vedanta, any lesson in Upanishads, any lesson in Vedic chanting always starts with this prayer. And I will teach you something interesting about how to chant this prayer in a minute. But first, we're going to go through this prayer. Okay. So it's from Taittiriya Upanishad. Also, different Upanishads start with different Shanti mantras. These are different Shanti Pats. Pat means recitation. So Shanti Pat means recitation for peace. Okay, we need three types of peace. That's why we say Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. We say peace three times at the end, because we need peace from Adhyatmik, Adhibhautik, and Adhidaivik. We need peace from our own mind and body problems, problems with other people and other living entities like mosquitoes, problems with demigods or with hurricanes and tornadoes, whatever, rainstorms, whatever comes our way from the elements. These are the three types of peace that we pray for. Okay, so, but mostly because we're trying to learn something, we just need peace of mind and we need a quiet place in order to study. Okay, so this is this particular one I took from the Brahmananda Vali, which is the second. The Vali is a section, the second section in the Taittiriya Upanishad, because we are Krishna Taittiriya. We're learning Krishna Yajurveda Taittiriya Shaka, the branch, the Taittiriya branch of the Black Yajurveda. We are therefore studying first of all Taittiriya Aranyaka, Taittiriya Brahmana, Taittiriya Upanishad. Taittiriya Upanishad is like the first thing that we chant. So that Shiksham Vyakya Asyamaha, that is the first lesson that we had, the lesson on Vedic chanting, Shiksha, Varna, Swara, Matra, Bala, Sama, and Santana, these 6 parts of Vedic chanting, right, came from the Shikshavali. Shikshavali, that's the first part of the Taittiriya Upanishad. The second part of the Taittiriya Upanishad is called Brahmananda Vali, which talks about the Ananda of Brahman, the bliss of the Supreme, of the Supreme. And the third one talks about is a discussion between Bhrigu and his father Varuna. And Bhrigu is in search of enlightenment by asking questions to Varuna. We find that many Upanishads are like this. They're discussions between different people. And we get enlightened by hearing about the discussions on Brahman, on the Supreme Person. So this Brahmananda Vali is second. Third is Bhrigu Vali, which starts out Bhrigu Vai Varunihi Varunam Pitaram Upasasara. Okay, and Raghunath has begun to learn Bhrigu Vali. Do you know any Bhrigu Vali, Raghunath? Can you chant for us? I gave it to you yesterday. You've already memorized it, and you want to chant something?
I listened to it a lot. I've probably listened to it like 50 times, but I still haven't learned anything.
Yeah, Raghunath was very excited. He was very excited because I told him that if you don't know the Samaveda, like Samaveda is very musical and people like it a lot, you know? But if you don't know the Samaveda, if you're just a lowly Krishna Yajurvedan like us, right, and you don't know the Samaveda chants and you want to impress somebody, there's a Sama song. There's a piece of the Yajurveda which sounds very much like the Samveda, which you can chant, and it will impress people. So he was impressed by that. So I sent him a copy of it.
It's so beautiful. It's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, please share, Swami. Please share.
Well, at the end of the Upanishad, Bhrigu says he realizes Brahman. He becomes self-realized, and he becomes so happy. He sings a little song. So his song goes like this: Etat samagaya naste ha o ha o ha o. Ahamannam ahamannam ahamannam. Ahaman ado, ahaman ado, ahaman adaha. Ahagresso kakata hagresso kakata hagresso kakate. Ahamasmi pratamajaritasya. Purvam devebhyo amritasya na bahi. Yovadadati sahime bhavaha. Ahamannamannamadantamadmi. Aham vishvam bhuvanamabhyabhavan. Suvarnajyoti. Ya evam veda ityupanishate. And then it goes into what we have here. Sahana vavatu, sahano bhunaktu, sahaviryam karavavahay. Tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om. Let's listen.
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Okay. Now what I want to do is I want to hear also I have Sri Vatsaramaswamy, our old friend Sri Vatsaramaswamy, who is also chanting it. He's going to chant it. You can listen to that too.
Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om.
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om.
That was very good. You the longs and shorts, excellent. Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. There's a mistake here. I should put I'm going to fix this mistake. There should be a long macron on top of this this A. It's a long A. Okay, so everybody can note. Yeah. So Geeta, you want to have a go?
Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om. Sahana Bhavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu saha viryam karavavahai tejasvinavaditamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om.
Yeah, good, very good. Okay, it's just when you sit back there, it's from the microphone, I don't hear it as loud, but that's not a problem. Okay, so now what does it mean? May the Lord protect us both together. May he nourish us both together. May we both acquire strength together. May our study be brilliant. Brilliant. May we not quibble with each other. For those of you who don't know what the word quibble means, it means don't sweat the small mistakes, okay? Don't, you know, they're all small mistakes anyway, but let's just try to get the general things. Om, peace, peace, peace. Hari Om. Okay, so that's what it means. Now I'm going to introduce a new concept. And this is a concept, this is called antiphonal chanting. Antiphonal chanting. I don't know what it's called in India, but it's called in English antiphonal chanting. What it means is one person chants and then the other person chants. And the reason for doing this is when you're chanting a lot of big Vedic mantras or even classical Sanskrit mantras like Vishnu Sahasranam are very long. So you got 100 slokas to chant, 100 verses to chant. So you're out of breath if you're doing it all yourself. If everybody's doing it all themselves, you get out of breath, you know, and especially if you're doing it quickly. Okay, so what they do is this is a danda, a breath sign, and this is a double danda, another breath sign, right? Similar to commas and full stops or periods that we have in English or in other languages. And so whenever you get to a danda or a double danda, you swap to the other person. So if you're sitting and you're learning with another person, right? You can sit and you can swap out, and you can do this with, for instance, let's have a go. We could try it. I'll explain it like with the Hare Krishna Mahamantra or Hare Rama Mahamantra. Just say, okay? If I say, I'll chant Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, and then the next person will chant Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, like that. On the other side, and we'll just go back and forth like that. And that way we can go very fast, actually, much faster. And it gives you time to look at the next word also. If you don't know it off by heart, gives you time to look at the next half of the sloka or the next half of the verse or the next sentence before you have to actually say it. Right? Om Keshavaya Namaha, Om Narayana Namaha, Om Madhavaya Namaha, Om Govindaya Namaha, Om Vaisnava Namaha, Om Madhusudana Namaha, like this, you know? So they do things like that. It's called antiphonal chanting. So what we're going to do is we're going to try that here. In fact, the traditional way of doing this mantra is to do it antiphonally. But how you're supposed to do it is the guru starts off and says, Sahana Bhavatu, and then all the disciples, all the students, they all say, Sahanao Bhunaktu, and then together everybody chants, Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavaditamastu Vidvishavahai Om Shanti 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 Hari Om. Okay, so that's the traditional way of doing it is the teacher says the first one, then everybody else says the second one. They all say it together, the third one, and then the rest of it's all together, like that. That's the way they do this particular one. But antiphonal means usually going back and forth. So it's not quite, it's a type of antiphonal chanting. So if I do that, I can pick somebody. So what I like to do is call upon you. So we'll make a system. Let's see. Okay, so we're going to go through and we're going to chant this, and we're going to chant. I don't know if Govindachari can pipe in here or not, but we can.
Sure can.
Yeah. Okay. So we'll go me, and then Govindachari, and then Raghunath, and then Vishwanath, and then Geeta. Okay, like that. So we'll just go through like that. So we'll go through, and it's like musical chairs. Wherever wherever there's a dunda, you just stop, and the other person has to take off. Right? Have you got your order? Do you understand the order? Myself, Govindachari, Raghunath, Vishwanath, Gita, and then back again to me. Okay? And we'll just go through it like this. So, Shri Guru Bhyo Namaha.
Hari Om.
Sahana Bhavatu.
Sahanao Bhunaktu.
Saha Viryam Karavavahai.
Tejasvinavadidamastu ma vidvishavahai.
Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
Hari Om.
Very good. Everybody now understands what antiphonal chanting is. I have something else which I'm going to show you, right? This is like for extra credit. Okay, so remember last time we learned this Sri Rama Rama Ramiti Rame 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 Manorame Sahasranama Tatulyam Rama Nama Varanane, right? We learned that 3 names of Rama, or just chanting the name of Rama or Krishna, right? Just chanting one name of the Lord is equal to chanting thousands of names, right? So so then we learned this. We learned to chant Rama, right? And actually, it's very interesting. Rama mantras don't even require any initiation; they work without initiation. I can give you the pramanas for that from Hari Bhakti Vilas again. So we have now learned how to chant the 1,000 names of Vishnu in a shortcut method by chanting Krishna, or by chanting Rama, 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 or by chanting just Rama. Right? We've learned how to chant the 1,000 names of Vishnu. So actually, in Hari Bhakti Vilas, this is basically Hari Bhakti Vilas in the 6th Vilas, and it states there's a. I just won't read the Sanskrit. I'll just read to you the English a little bit like this: to sing, to play musical instruments, right? Dance and recite the Vedic literature while worshipping is always very pleasing to Lord Krishna. In the absence of dancing and playing musical instruments, one should recite Vedic literature. The Vedic literature means what? It means like Bhagavad Gita, the Vedas, Vishnu Sahasranama. My dear son, the recitation of the Vedic literature is very pleasing to the Lord, especially at the time of worship. So we learn so many stotras and we learn so many things to chant. If there is no Vedic literature normally means the Vedas, right? If there's no Vedic literature, Shruti, to chant, like we were just learning, Sahanavatu, Sanobaratu. So first of all, if you can chant and play musical instruments and dance, right, that's fine. But if you can't do that, you can chant Vedas. And if you can't do that, then it says one can chant Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra, the 1,000 names of Vishnu, Stavaraj, which is some other stotras, Gajendra Moksha, which is in the Bhagavatam, right? Bhagavad Gita, you can learn the whole Bhagavad Gita that way. Or Anushmiti, which I don't know what that means exactly, but it's, some other prayer. These 5 are very pleasing to the Lord, and one can always recite the 1,000 names of Vishnu while worshipping instead of singing and playing musical instruments. One can always recite the 1,000 names of Vishnu while worshipping instead of singing and playing musical instruments. Okay? That's acceptable. And then in the 6th Vilas, there's also this Mahatmyam. Mahatmyam means the greatness of Vishnu Sahasranam. One who recites 1,000 names of Vishnu at the time of bathing the deities obtains the merit of giving a brown cow, apparently that's a better cow than a white cow, in charity with chanting of each letter, each varna, not even each syllable, what does it say? Does it say letter or does it say akshara, or what does it say in here? Akshara, each syllable. Okay. He translated it as letter, but it means syllable. Each syllable, right, of Vishnu Sahasranam. So imagine there's 32 syllables in every sloka, and there's 107 or 108 slokas. So there's a lot of brown cows being given. Right. There is no doubt that the person who glorifies the Supreme Lord by reciting the 1,000 names of Vishnu is freed We're just finishing the last class here, Premananda, so just relax and just mute and listen. There's no doubt that a person who glorifies the Supreme Lord by reciting the 1,000 names of Vishnu is freed from all sorts of anarthas, unwanted things. Right. A person who chants the Vishnu Sahasranam Stotra while worshipping the Lord attains the merit of studying all the Vedas. So you don't have to study the Vedas, just chant Vishnu Sahasranam, right? Okay, so then, O sage, among the demigods, the merit one achieves by reciting even one sloka or one verse of Vishnu Sahasranam cannot be obtained by performing 100 sacrifices. Worship of Lord Hari without reciting the proper mantras and performing the prescribed rituals becomes complete and successful simply by recitation of Vishnu Sahasranama. I've known this for a long, long time in deity worship. If you make a mistake in mantras, if you make a mistake in your rituals, remember we just learned those prayers for forgiveness of mistakes, right? Forgiveness from mistakes is one thing, but to make the actual ritual complete and proper, even though you made mistakes in it, chant Vishnu Sahasranam. That's a different thing, right? It's one thing, I made a mistake and I'm forgiven, but still I'm not going to get the benefit of doing it properly. But to actually make the thing proper that I made a mistake in, chant Vishnu Sahasranam. The recitation of Vishnu Sahasranama before Lord Vishnu destroys all of one's sins that were committed knowingly or unknowingly. So even if you're a sinner and you go out there and you knowingly commit sins, Vishnu Sahasranama is going to destroy those sins, and also cures a supposedly incurable disease, right, which we have right now around us, right? Even the sin of killing a Brahmin, or a Vaishnava, let's say, is nullified by chanting Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra. What then can be said for other sins? The person who recites Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra after getting up in the early morning will be successful in all his activities throughout his life. Now here in the Skanda Purana, there's a conversation between Krishna and Arjuna. Krishna and Arjuna. Now remember, the Vishnu Sahasranam was spoken by Bhishma while he was lying on the bed of arrows, and it was spoken to Yudhisthira because Yudhisthira said to Bhishma, Kim nu nama kodharma sarvadharmanam paramo kim kodharma sarvadharmagyan paramo. Anyway, he asked him, what's the dharma of dharmas and what's the thing that somebody should do at the time of death? And Bhishma said he should chant the 1,000 names of Vishnu, right? So Krishna and Arjuna were there. They were listening to that conversation, and Arjuna thought that the 1,000 names was long. So he asked Krishna later on to give him a shortcut method, right? Because Arjuna, wanted the shortcut. But here's the conversation between Krishna and Arjuna before that. And recitation of the Vishnu Sahasranama, this is Krishna speaking, recitation of Vishnu Sahasranama is equal to recitation of all the Vedas and the worship of all the demigods. Liberation comes within the grip of the devotee who recites Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra. Even the most sinful people and meat eaters can avoid going to hell if they recite Vishnu Sahasranama. O Arjuna, I am telling you the truth, Krishna says, that in the age of Kali, one who simply chants 1,000 names of Lord Vishnu need not engage in any other religious activity. One who does not perform, one who does not chant the Vishnu Sahasranama. So first they give you the positives, now they're giving you the negative. One who does not chant the Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra cannot satisfy me. Even after performing sacrifice, giving charity, undergoing austerities, right? Undergoing austerities or offering prayers. And he says here, those who in the age of Kali do not know the glories of Vishnu Sahasranam receive no benefit from the performance of religious activities and thus wander about in the material creation. I personally, Krishna says, I personally accept the worship that is offered by a person who recites the Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra in his home. O best of the Pandavas, the influence of Kali cannot enter the house of a person who is chanting, where the chanting of Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra is present. Therefore, O son of Kunti, fix your mind on me, become my devotee, and recite the Vishnu Sahasranam Stotra If you do so, all your desires will be fulfilled, right? As a result of worshipping me in the previous age, Brahma, the creator of the universe, obtained the most auspicious Vishnu Sahasranam Stotra. Later on, Narada received it from Brahma and then distributed it among the ascetics who were strictly celibate. O mighty armed Arjuna, these sages distributed the Vishnu Sahasranama to the demigods, and the Vishnu Sahasranama was first propagated in the world by Veda Vyasa, right? Only after performing very severe penance did the great soul Shankara receive, Shankara meaning Shiva, receive the most confidential Vishnu Sahasranama. He then gave it to his wife, Parvati. O Arjuna, in this way, my Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra has been propagated in this world. These 1,000 names of mine instantly destroy all the miseries of the living entities and award them pleasure and piety, just as the nectar does to the demigods, that nectar of Amrita that they drank after churning the ocean of milk. I am thus giving you, to you, Krishna says, I am thus giving to you the Vishnu Sahasranam Stotra, which is the essence of the 18 Puranas. Mahadev knows it perfectly, as well as the glories, most perfectly well the glories of Vishnu Sahasranama Stotra. Those who recite it and hear its glories do not become implicated even if they commit thousands of offenses. So Krishna gives 1,000 names of Vishnu to Arjuna, but then Arjuna later on asks for a shortcut. And we'll hear about the shortcut next time. Okay, here we go. This is called Sri Vishnu Astavimsati Nama Stotram. I will again read, right? O Lord Keshava, of the thousands of names, right? Arjuna says, Arjuna Uvacha. Arjuna says, O Lord Keshava, Krishna, of the thousands of names that can be chanted again and again, which are the ones that can be chanted quickly to give the same result? Because chanting Vishnu Sahasranam takes about 30 to 45 minutes. Okay? So, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Lord Krishna said, Matsya Kurma Varaha, Vamana, Janardana, Govinda, Pundarikaksha, Madhava, Madhusudana, Padmanabha, Sahasraksha, Vanamali, Halayuda, Govardhana, Rishikesha, Vaikuntha, Purushottama, Vishvarupa, Vasudeva, Rama, Narayana, Hari, Damodara, Sridhara, Vedanga, Gadaradvaja, Ananta, Krishna Gopala. By chanting these names, one destroys all his sins. It's equal to giving 10 million cows in charity and performing 100 Ashwamedha horse sacrifices. The result achieved by someone chanting this is equal to giving 1,000 virgin girls in marriage. It should be chanted on Amavasya, the new moon, Purnima, the full moon, Ekadasi, the 11th lunar day. It should be remembered always at the time of the Sanjas, in transition, in the evening, morning, and noon. It should be chanted always and will relieve one of all his sins. Thus ends the enumeration of the 28 names of Lord Vishnu from the conversation between Lord Krishna and Arjuna. Hari Om Tat Sat, O my Lord, I make this solemn vow. Let this chanting be the result offered unto Lord Krishna, Sri Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. Okay? So,
thank you.
What does Lord Krishna say? What does he say? Arjuna asked the question, right? What are the main names, right? What are of the 1,000 names which can be chanted quickly, which gives the same result? The same result. Gives the same result, and Krishna gives those names. Yep. And I will post that. And before we go, I'll just say it in Sanskrit. Arjuna vacha kimnu nama sahasrani japate cha punah punah yani namani divyani tani chakrasya keshavah. Sri Bhagavan vacha matyam kurmam varaham cha vamanam cha janajanam govindam pundarikaksham madhavam madhusudanam padmanabham sahasraksham vanamalim halayudam govardhanam rishikesham vaikuntam purushottamam vishvarupam vasudevam pramam narayanam harim Damodaram Sridharam Cha Vedangam Garadadvajam Anantam Krishna Gopalam Japatona Stipatakam Davam Koti Pradanasya Ashrameda Sasasya Cha Kanyadana Sahasranam Palam Prapnoti Manavaha Amayamba Purnamasyam Ekadasyam Tataivacha संध्यकाले स्मरन् नित्यं प्रातःकाले तथैव च मध्याह्ने च जपन् नित्यं सर्वपापैः प्रमुच्यते इति श्रीकृष्ण अर्जुन संवादे श्रीविष्णुरस्तविंशतिनां स्तोत्रं सम्पूर्णम्। हरि ओम तत्सत्। श्रीकृष्णार्पणमस्तु। श्रीकृष्ण कृष्ण कृष्ण।